Welcome to CBT News with Bridget Fitzpatrick.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to CBT News. I'm Bridget Fitzpatrick. Thank you so much for joining us. Here's Chris Riggins with today's top stories.
Thanks, Bridget. Starting off our coverage, AL Hendrickson Toyota, the second highest volume Toyota store in the U.S., was sold to Morgan Automotive Group. Hague Partners served as the sell-side advisor for the deal, which set a record for the highest transaction price for a single dealership. The president of Hague Partners, Alan Hague, stated in a press release, quote, "We congratulate Al Jr. and Larry Morgan from MAG on closing this historic transaction. The combination of Toyota and Florida is powerful, and we felt confident that we could demonstrate its value to the small group of dealers we approached with the opportunity." A security researcher recently found a secret setting in Tesla vehicles that allows a driver to use Tesla's advanced driver assistance systems, such as autopilot and full self-driving, without keeping their hands on the steering wheel for an extended period of time. The hacker also found that the car didn't require any attention from the driver while using Tesla's FSD software. Additionally, the hacker notes, quote, "Compared to other automobiles, the level of attention Tesla puts into its software is exceptional, and it's a nice puzzle that keeps improving." Next up, for the second year in a row, Tesla's Model Y is the most American-made car according to Cars.com's American-Made Index, which ranks all qualifying cars made and purchased in the U.S. for 2023. Cars.com evaluated 388 cars, with 100 making the cut for the annual index. While neither General Motors nor Ford placed a vehicle in the top 10, they had the largest share of models on the list, with GM accounting for 18% and Ford at 17%. And wrapping up our coverage, Chairman Bill Ford announced on June 20th that the Ford Fund is making a $5.8 million investment in disaster relief operations to aid communities affected by tornadoes, floods, hurricanes, and wildfires. This announcement is part of a 5-year partnership between the automaker's charitable arm and Team Rubicon, a veteran-led nonprofit organization in the U.S. The partnership also includes $2.5 million in reserve funds and 17 Ford trucks and SUVs. On today's exclusive executive profile, Jim Fitzpatrick sits down with Mario Morgado, President and CEO of Morgado Automotive Group, at his brand new state-of-the-art dealership in Miami, Florida. They discuss Mario's journey in the car business, his success as the leader of a large dealership group, as well as the state of the auto industry today. Take a look.
Let me start out by saying, I know probably a lot of dealers just said, did he say museum? I thought we were selling cars here, not showing them. Tell us the spirit behind starting the museum.
First is my love for cars, my passion for cars, my passion for this business, and my passion for Cadillac. And I couldn't think of anything better than to bring back the great history and the heritage of Cadillac, along with Americana and other vehicles that I have in that museum. So when I built it, I wanted to add that space there. And it's a space that we've utilized in many different factors and in many different ways. So customers just come here just to see the museum.
Do they?
Customers buy the vehicles and sometimes bring their kids to come take a look at the museum.
That's fantastic.
Customers buy a vehicle and bring other family members or neighborhoods to look at it. So it's really a great place for us to, I think you let your hair down, you get to enjoy, you get to relax. And you know, if you're 60 years old, you look back and you remember this. If you're 40 years old, you look back and you remember this. And you have everything there. You have from pre-World War II to after World War II, and really the escalation of the success of Cadillac. So you see that history there. You'll see the escalation of the muscle cars that are there, and you'll find representation from Ford. You'll find Chevrolet, you'll find Dodge, and you'll find Cadillac, obviously, and Corvettes.
That is fantastic. You told me during the tour before we got recording today that it was a point in time that GM owned 50% of the market share out there.
Yeah, very, very much. You know, when you take a look and you look at historical, and you said we came out of 1945, the war, and truly it was the first time that we had women in the marketplace, so they saved money. We had men coming there, GIs, that they didn't have money, couldn't spend money, so they had money. And really it was an evolution of economic might and power that America had to rebuild and help rebuild the world. So then the 50s were roaring 50s, and in those roaring 50s, General Motors captured over 50% market share. So think about 1 out of every 2 cars was a General Motors car. Whether it be either a Pontiac or an Oldsmobile, a Cadillac or a Chevrolet or a Buick.
That's
but
fantastic.
It was incredible.
Yeah. Were you one of those dealers that, those individuals that got into the car business because of your love for the cars?
Oh,
I mean, were you like a car nut?
Absolutely. When I was a kid, I would be in the car and I would say to my father, that car has 4 cannons. If cannons would be the exhaust, and I would say, those 4 cannons, that's a Mustang Mach 1.
Right.
Right. You know, and the first Mustang, that's a Pony Mustang that's in there. That's a Chevrolet 57 Bel Air.
Well, some kids are following baseball teams. You're following Cadillac's new model.
I did. So I loved all the cars. I could tell them. And then later on, the small distinctions in those days, it was round headlamps and later on square headlamps, 1 headlamp, 2 headlamps, where they turn a turn signal, all those things.
Sure. You are one of those individuals that I have followed over the last 10 years since we've been friends and met, and your expansion and your success has been so exciting. But I want to take the viewer back a little bit and talk a little bit about Mario Magato coming to this country. You were, I think, just under 4 years old.
I turned 4 or 5 days after I got here in this country. I've been blessed to live in the greatest country in the world. I've been blessed that I had parents who had a belief and a faith in this country that were willing to give me up and put me here to have that opportunity. I had great faith, and I've had people who took care of me. I had 2 wonderful foster parents who took care of me at the very beginning, early on. Then my mom arrived later on after that, and then my father within a year and a half. And then we got to move to Chicago and made our life there. And I always tell people, I said, you don't know America until you know the Midwest, the most wholesome part of our country. So special. Still Midwest nice, no matter what you hear out.
All right, be sure to watch this interview in its entirety right here at cbtnews.com. That wraps up our show for today, but we invite you to join us back here again tomorrow morning for all the latest news and trends impacting the retail automotive industry. And be sure to follow us on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm Bridget Fitzpatrick. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
CBT News, your #1 resource for auto industry news and content.